China's President Xi Jinping is expected to tighten his grip on power as the ruling Communist Party holds a key closed-door meeting. Among other things, his personal vision for China is likely to be entrenched in the party's policy-making. It would also set the stage for Mr. Xi to seek an unprecedented third term in power in next year's twice-a-decade party congress. Olivia Xiong has more from Beijing.
2021 marked the founding centenary of China's Communist Party, and as the year winds down, over 300 of its top members are set to meet behind closed doors in Beijing for their 6th plenum. It's the last major gathering of their current 5-year term before a key party congress late next year. Top of the agenda is to consider a key resolution on the party's 100-year history.
A resolution on history is one of the most important documents in the Communist Party's hierarchy, and that's because it provides an official historical narrative and a binding judgment on how the past should be viewed. Now, such a resolution has only been passed 2 other times since the party was formed 100 years ago.
The first was in 1945, which saw Mao Zedong criticize his rivals and solidify his leadership after the Second Sino-Japanese War. The second was passed in 1981, which famously assessed Mao as having been 70% right and 30% wrong, following the chaos of the Cultural Revolution. It also ushered in the era of reform and opening up under Deng Xiaoping, which led to China's meteoric economic rise. Now, analysts say Chinese President Xi Jinping is looking to elevate himself to the same level and leave his mark on history.
In China, if you control the present, you control the past. By controlling the present and the past, you control the future. I think it's going to deal with the entire party history, but put a much more stronger gloss that the Communist Party of China historically was mostly right, and there were some imperfections, but otherwise the party set the tone, that reaffirmation of a Chinese socialist ideology moving forward.
Experts and the resolution will also provide the justification for President Xi to break from past convention at a twice-a-decade party congress next year. This to all but ensure the 68-year-old leader will be endorsed for an unprecedented third term in power after the party pushed ahead to lift presidential term limits in 2018. A reshuffle of the party's top positions is also on the cards, although a successor to President Xi is unlikely to be announced.
The very fact that Xi Jinping is overseeing a history resolution is a powerful sign in itself of Xi Jinping's dominant authority within the party going into these congresses, which, makes it more likely that he's going to be able to get more of what he wants in the policy platform and to be able to elevate more of his political allies into top leadership positions. It will entrench Xi Jinping's personal vision for China into Communist Party policymaking.
This would give greater impetus to realize President Xi or China's goals of achieving modernization by 2035 and becoming a great power by 2049, when China marks 100 years of Communist Party rule. All part of what President Xi has termed national rejuvenation and the Chinese dream, part of it including reunification with the self-ruled island of Taiwan.
People in the rest of the world probably doubt what's the Chinese goal, what is China up to, and whether China has ambitions of becoming a superpower or replacing the United States as the top dog of the world. I think China does need to make clear where it stands, how China is going forward.
Analysts say the move no doubt signals a more confident China, especially in the midst of prolonged tensions and increased scrutiny from the United States and its allies. Although President Xi still faces challenges on multiple fronts as the plenum takes place. The country is trying to stamp out a new resurgence of COVID-19 cases, with infections detected in at least half of the provinces and regions in the country. This has put the Chinese government's zero-tolerance approach to the test as the rest of the world changes course to live with the virus, especially as China has kept its borders largely closed off while its economy shows signs of cooling. Olivia Xiong, CNA, Beijing.